Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight UK Season 7, Episode 19. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So it is the commitment ceremony, and Thomas and Adrian are first. Basically, everything is going well, right? Except for the fact that during Thomas's explanation about how well things are going, he inadvertently admits that he's very immature.
You like to be observant to things, don't you? And then speak on them when you've got all of the facts. Whereas I'm more spontaneous in my reactions.
I needed someone to nurture me, and Adrian needed someone to nurture. And I was like...
The sad thing about their relationship is, at the beginning I didn't think they were gonna work, but now I do think they're gonna work solely off of Adrian's back. I think if Adrian is okay with being a long-suffering husband for a very long time, then yes, they will work. Because ironically enough, doesn't Thomas work kind of in the mental health sphere? Maybe not specifically like mental health, but working with people who deal with mental health issues. Like, you would think like the way that you move in life like affects the people around you and stuff like that. So you got to do your own self-work in order to make this relationship work. And yes, there have been times where he's been doing a little bit better, but Adrian is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this relationship, and it's gonna get old very fast. We're both adults. Can we step it up here? April and George, they're hot, they're cold, they're hot, they're cold. Maybe right now they are cold. Basically, the altercation between April and Thomas, George and Adrian kind of got into it too, has led them to have yet another argument.
Thomas was telling everyone else that I was fake.
You're a liar, April.
1 second. Tom show.
Okay, no, Tom, sit down, please.
No.
Right, hang on. Okay, so let me finish. Adrian.
Oh, not Adrian with the curveball. Hold on. Adrian, what do you have to say? And why was George so adamant on shutting Adrian up? What is George trying to hide? For Mr. Doesn't Like Half-Truths and all that? He's trying to suppress Adrian's thoughts here? I wanted to know. Adrian, what were you gonna say? Jenna and Zoe, wasn't much between them. They just kind of touched on the argument that they had last week and then what life would look like outside of the experiment.
So Zoe gets defensive and I get over emotional.
Okay.
So yeah.
There you go. And then you work it out.
Yeah, so then we go back, go communicate, and we're okay. Like, I've never lived with somebody, so that's something that I want to achieve at some point.
Well, you're living with me now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We're living it right now, but I mean in reality.
I still don't see it for them. Is it just me? Am I a pessimist? I still don't see much compatibility outside of the fact that they are both lesbians. That's about it. With Jonathan and Sophie, Jonathan is just so dense, so insensitive. It is crazy. Basically, in his mind, even if something is perceived as offensive to somebody else, if he doesn't perceive it as offensive, gosh, I can't even think because it doesn't make sense, then it's not offensive.
If I do offend someone, I'll say, like, I will be genuinely sorry, I don't really care.
Did you just say that you don't care how it lands?
No. If you knew me as a person, you wouldn't have taken it as a serious comment. No, and I know you're shaking your head, but
I'm shaking my head because it's about how it's received.
It was about how I felt in that moment.
You're going to go through life apologising for the way other people feel for you having an opinion.
Whoa!
No, I'm sorry,
Jonathan,
but like,
listen
sometimes
to
you're
yourself.
allowed, you're allowed
We're talking
an
about
opinion.
being in an intimate relationship with a partner.
It annoys me how much he talks over her and then has the audacity to be like, well, I don't understand what it is that I said that offended her. Well, maybe if you would shut your mouth and listen to understand rather than listen to respond, you would understand why she was offended. It wasn't the hypothetical of what if she got big, but it was the fact that you reduced the connection that you have in a marriage with somebody to physical attributes rather than the core and the character of that person. That's the problem. And also, like, he's just uncouth in the way that he says things. So just because, like, somebody doesn't agree with him, it becomes like this combative thing where it's like, you can disagree with somebody and still have a cordial conversation and still try to understand and maybe even reason with them if you want to. You don't have to, because you don't have to agree in this life. But yeah, he's just so like hardline, this is what I think, and that's what it's gonna be. Good luck with that. Shania and Jordan are doing great. They are just working out the logistics of what life would be like outside of the experiment.
Obviously, yeah, the dinner party was eventful. And even that, like, we walked away quite strong. And I think, you know what, is the communication.
And I've worked very hard to create like something which is like, I'm very secure, very comfortable. I think it'd be nice for Shan to kind of see that.
And that's nice because that says to me that he wants to incorporate me into his life. He wants me to meet his family.
I have hope. I have hope. I feel like their journey has been the most realistic. You know, you start off with a fairy tale, you realize there are kinks, you iron them out, and you come out better than ever. I think it'll work. If it doesn't work, I will truly be heartbroken. Will I? Not really. But I think this is going to be the season 7 success story. Either that or Whitney and Matt. So we'll see how that goes. Keisha and Kwame, more so Kwame, say that things are going so well that they might as well just leave the experiment.
We're so good, I have been saying to Keisha, we don't really need to be here anymore. I'm not saying we are the perfect couple and we're in a place where we don't need anything. What I'm saying is, I want to see more real life.
Kwame, I am on to you, sir. I'm on to you. I don't believe this turnaround for him. I don't buy it. I still think he's looking for excuses to leave this girl, and I would rather he just say them than just make it seem like, oh, we're just not there yet, or oh, things are just so great that we might as well leave. I don't buy it at all. And he's such a trip, you know, because he's like, oh, we're so good that we should just see what life is like outside of this experiment and have our day-to-day experience and we can figure it out ourselves. But they're literally at the point of the experiment where it's homestays, where you do basically leave the experiment, go explore what life is like in the real world, and then come back and discuss with the experts. Like, you're at that point. Anyways, they chose to stay. He's an idiot. Last but not least, the scandal that's rocking the nation, you guys. Matt and Whitney and Duca and Gemma. The whole scandal has to be addressed as a whole, so the experts address all 4 of them. And basically everybody in the room, supposedly, feels like Matt and Whitney should be guilty. They don't give a damn.
Looks exchanged across the kitchen, and then I've had to check like a school child with her friend whether I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing, and then...
To top it off, they've shared a bed, not actually giving a shit about how that would actually make me feel.
Audacity. This relationship was at a point of no return, so when I have felt what I have felt, I have acted upon it.
I don't not have empathy and understanding.
Well, you just said you wouldn't change things.
Every time I speak, woman, you cut me off.
Are you joking?
I can't speak because every time I try to get a word out, you cut me off. Every time.
Morals aside, okay? Because this is an experiment. It's actually not legal marriages. You should treat it like it is, but it's not. And even if it was, the relationship was dead in the water on both ends. Like, they were dead. They were done. There was no salvaging. Gemma was never going to be less crude and crass. Duca was never going to be more than the surface level that he puts on a front for. Like, it just, like, those factors were never going to change. Therefore, these relationships were never going to work out. Let's be honest. And then everybody is trying to hold them to this code that they don't adhere to. So, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm not going to go to an atheist and say, how dare you say this about God and whatever. They're holding themselves to a different ethical and moral standard than me. So who cares what my opinion is? They don't give a damn. There's no point beating my head to try to convince them about something that they're not convicted by. That's number 1. I was gonna say number 2, but I actually have 2 points in number 2, so number 2A. I don't think Duca is as ignorant as he makes it seem. Truly. He hangs out with Matt, they go to the gym, they're literally homies. I just, And the way that Duca was acting in the beginning of the process, basically like he wanted to explore other options as soon as he's out here. This kind of was like a clout thing for him. I don't buy this whole, oh, I've been betrayed. Oh, I would never. Oh, the guy coats. Shut up. okay? And then number 2B, I can't stand Gemma. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The theatrics are just too much, and it pains me to side with Whitney sometimes, but I'm with her. If you're going to ask me a question, let me say the answer fully. Don't keep cutting me off and then be upset that I'm not giving you the answer you want, but you don't even let me answer to begin with. Like, Gemma's just, yeah, and it's a lot. I've had enough. So of course, everyone in these two couples wrote leave, right? However, the experts asked what is the plan for Matt and Whitney going forward, and of course, they want to pursue it.
It would be nice to get the experiment with Whitney and see how that can develop.
If we could have the help of the experts and find out whether this is something that we should put our lives and our times and our hearts into, that would be amazing.
Seeing the energy in the room is that you'd place yourselves at such a disadvantage if you were to stay here.
Aren't they what each other want and not what they need? Which is everything that you say.
We haven't looked at these two as a potential match. We haven't looked at their psychology. We haven't looked at anything.
Now, I find it hilarious how in the previous episode, everybody was giving googly eyes. I know what's going on between them. Oh my gosh, what is this little scandal that's happening? But this episode, it's all moral high ground. How dare you? This is so vile. This was a betrayal. If y'all don't quit lying, please, please. I'm so tired of this double standard that everybody has all of a sudden. Okay, that's number 1. Morality aside, I actually think they should stay in the experiment. I do. And I think they're going to, because every show wants ratings. This is their rating puller right now. I think that they would actually benefit. Strictly off the fact that Whitney has changed so much. Again, I don't know if how she presented herself at the beginning was actually how she was, and this is a true journey that she's been on, or if that was part of the storyline and it was like, wow, look at me, I've changed and I've discovered what I actually want and what I actually need, and it's not you, it's him. I don't know. But if we're to play naive, I think she benefits a lot from having the experts in her life in this way. I think that her and Matt could potentially have something. I mean, the toxic side of me is really rooting for them, oddly enough. So I think they should stay. I'm pretty sure they're going to stay, because why would you drop your ratings puller? That doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna see if they stay. Homestays is starting in the next episode, so we'll see how that goes. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.